Hi, I'm Felicia Gopaul. Welcome to Finding Money to Pay for College. The question that many of the people I talk to, like yourself, have is, where am I going to find money for college? Most of the time they think of scholarships, but scholarships is not the only answer that's out there. And there's lots and lots of scholarships. And so you've got to scour the internet trying to find the various different places that you can find scholarships. Well, it's not that easy. And it really begins much sooner than you think it should. When I'm talking to parents like you, one of the things that I like to emphasize is start early. That's how you're going to be able to find money for college. Because oftentimes when you look at and have the opportunity to visit schools, you'll find that they've got great programs and they're great financial partners. So what's a good financial partner? I call a school that's a good financial partner as a school that will value your students enough that they'll put together a great financial aid package. The way that I describe it so that that people can really kind of get it, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but you have a bright and talented student. Your bright and talented student could definitely go to top tier schools. However, everybody is applying to top tier schools, and not everybody is applying to the schools that are just a little bit below. They've got the name recognition, but because they're perhaps a little hungrier, they're often willing to put together better financial aid packages. So your bright and talented student can get in. They may be in a place where they're a smaller environment, so they can get a little bit more care while they're there. I want my daughters to get as much care as possible, and if they back it up with dollars, then I'm a happy camper. So that would be one of the things that I would have you concentrate on. When I talk to parents and families about going to college, I say that you ought to start looking for scholarships in your sophomore year. And they say, what? In my sophomore year? Well, the reason I say you've got to look in your sophomore year is because sometimes there's preparation you've got to do in order to be able to get the scholarships. So if you wait until your junior year or your senior year even, then you've already missed the opportunities to get the scholarships that require you to do something before that. The other thing that I'd like to have you consider in finding money for college, perhaps looking at your cash flow. Because the reality is we all have different things that are in our cash flow that are perhaps not mandatory. I remember when my husband and I were having a conversation one day, and he was telling me, the red zone package, NFL package, Felicia, is really, really, really important. I was just like, so if we have a choice between sending our kid to college and the red zone package, are you going to say that it's more important? Because, he had to admit that no, it really wasn't. But there's all sorts of things. It may not be the red zone package in your family, but there's some other thing. And there's going to be dollars that you're currently using for all their activities that you can then transfer and over to college expenses. So looking at your current cash flow with a critical eye is often a place that you can also find money for college, because we all have different things in our budget that are there because they're there, but they're not necessarily key and critical. So it's not like you necessarily have to come up with all the money, because you're already spending it now for things in high school, and you can use some of those dollars to pay for things in college. So ultimately, you will be happier in the end. You're happier because you've saved money that you didn't have to pay out. Your kid is happier because they're able to graduate with a lot less debt. The last thing you want to do as a parent is burden your kids with a whole lot of debt. And we've seen the stories that are in the newspapers where people are talking about graduating with outrageous sums of debt. So I'll help you find money. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do, is put you in the best position to have your kids start out with as clean and fresh a start as possible.